Shalom, giving all the praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachakodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and safety, and much blessings to the Yakim that's pushing this truth out the four corners of the earth, and all truth is sincerity and diligent shalom. So this is wanted to breaking news. America has attacked Venezuela, which was in the hours of, 2 o'clock in the morning, which is the time when, this devil do things like this, when people are sleeping, but it was imminent, because they been gearing up to do such a thing, basically saying that the whole so-called reason for this was because of the drugs, but, men of the Lord and, people that's in the know different, this was basically because America know they're going to war, all right? And Venezuela, got, one of the largest oil reserves over there, I believe. So, and you can't believe anything, what this devil says, man. He's the devil that the Bible speaks of. And, we in a time of war, but we all know that the MOTB has to be implemented first before, you get in a full-fledged, World War III. But you're gonna have things like this happen, okay? But this is also major. You don't take this lightly, because this is also major. With all the things that's going on around the earth, here it is. This devil he invades Venezuela, well, and capture the President Maduro and his wife. Okay, so what I did was looked up on ChatGPT. This was 6 hours ago. I'll play the clip. What I did was looked up on ChatGPT. I just asked. I say, what did Russia say if America attacked Venezuela? It said, here's what Russia has officially said in response to U.S. attack on Venezuela. Russia strongly condemns the U.S. attack. Russia's foreign ministry called U.S. military actions against Venezuela an act of armed aggression and said it was deeply concerned and must be condemned. They stated that the justifications ordered by the U.S. were baseline and driven by ideology, hostility, rather than real threats and practical diplomacy. Russia affirmed solidarity with the Venezuelan people. See, Russia affirmed solidarity with Venezuelan people. In its statement, Russia reaffirmed solidarity with the people of Venezuela and criticized the U.S. for what Moscow described as unjustified aggression. All right, so Russia basically Russia is back in Venezuela. Okay, Russian lawmakers said U.S. operation lacked any real threat, and see that's what this devil does. He go around terrorizing the earth. That's why, in the scriptures in Jeremiah the 50th chapter, it calls Babylon, which we know what America is, Babylon the Great. It calls Babylon, right, the hammer of the earth, right? Now, what is a hammer of the earth, man? It just that title alone, speaks volumes. The hammer of the earth. You go around terrorizing, different countries and whatnot, all right, for your own gain. Okay, but we also know that the elites, right, the small hats, they are behind, all of this, because they are the elites. They call the shots. They sit in the power seat, but uses Babylon the Great as his, hammer, if you will. Okay. A senior Russian official said that Venezuela posed no military, humanitarian, criminal, or drug-related threat to the U.S., and therefore the U.S. operation was without substantive ground in violation of international law. Because it was. They created all of these, they created this reason as to why they needed to do this. Just like they did even before, man. They lied about Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, okay. They lied about all these different places that they went into and invaded. But you think they're going to tell you the truth about what they do, the whole reason with Ukraine and Venezuela and all these different things that they do across the earth. No, this is the devil that the Bible speaks of. All right? Russia has warned against any escalation before the attack. Senior Russia diplomats cautioned the U.S. against escalating tensions with Venezuela and called on Washington to refrain from actions that could turn into a border conflict. Okay? So, look, I typed in, how does this affect the economy? It says, if the U.S. actually attacks Venezuela and Russian condemns and get involved, the economy effects can be significant on several levels, both regionally and globally. Experts already warned about economic ripples effects even as the situation unfolds. Oil and energy markets, okay? Let me get down to the gist of it. All right, yeah, global supply chains, okay? Prices for oil and food and goods can rise. Military conflict often leads to higher insurance costs for shipping, delays at ports, and more expensive logistics. Inflation pressures, especially in energy and food, tends to hit poorer countries hardest. All right, so oil, food, and goods, the prices of oil, food, and goods can rise because anytime you got war on the planet Earth, you have the price of gas goes up, right? Oil and food, things of that nature. Okay, it says investors may move money into safe assets like gold and U.S. Treasuries, raising borrowing costs. That's why you can see that the prices of gold, especially the price of silver, is rising. Emerging markets currencies usually weaken during geopolitical crisis, making imports more expensive. See, imports, bringing in goods, is going to be more expensive, So it says, bottom line, Venezuela conflict with Russia, U.S.-Venezuela conflict with Russia in the background isn't just military or politically. It has real-world economic consequences, higher energy prices, inflation pressures, market volatility, if that's volatility, whatever, and disruptions to trade networks. Trade networks can all ripple across the global economy. All right, so that's why this is going to be a world war. All right, it ain't just between two countries. The whole earth is going to be involved in this. All the kings of the earth is going to be involved in this, and they all picking their sides. Okay, so this happened at like 2:00.
Amor. Ay, no. Mira eso.
Mira ya, mira lo que va.
Breaking news this morning. The United States strikes Venezuela. President Trump orders military strikes on the capital and says Venezuela's president and his wife are now in U.S. custody. The U.S. conducted airstrikes in Venezuela overnight, targeting military bases and at least one port.
And in a post on Truth Social, President Trump says Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro and his wife have been captured and flown out of the country. The president adding that the operation was carried out with the help of U.S. law enforcement.
U.S. officials tell CBS News that Maduro was captured by the U.S. military's elite Delta Force. President Trump on social.
You gotta think about that. You just think about whenever the shoe gonna be on the other foot. Whenever they sending firepower over here. Because this place dwells carelessly. Okay, it speaks about that in the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. This place dwells carelessly. Think about whenever they start sending, firepower over here, man. All right, how people are gonna be scared because you heard it on the first video. That woman was scared, man. So she ain't seen that, and then it just so happened that she's watching this. The place where she live at is being, blown to a crisp. Okay, so that just think about that, man. And you see, and like I said, America has gone through the earth, man, ruling the earth with like a hammer, like it says in it calls it the hammer of the earth. This is Jeremiah 50 and uh, 22. It says the sound of battle is in the land and of great destruction, which that's talking about, which will be in America, but is also across the four corners right now because we are in a time of war, man. All right. It says, how is the hammer of the earth cut asunder and broken? Because this speaks about the fall of Babylon the Great. But the point is that it likened Babylon the Great as what? The hammer of the whole earth. Not the hammer of the southern region, not the hammer of the east region, not the hammer of, its own continent. No, it speaks of Babylon the Great as the hammer of the earth. And as you can see, America goes around policing, the earth, man. All right? Telling countries that you have to do what we say, So when you do that, you got these other nations. They're gonna get these countries. They're gonna get they're already fed up. They're fed up with America doing these things and breaking out international laws, and no consequences come, and then, everybody got to just just deal with it. Nah, man. The kings of the earth is rising up against Babylon the Great, man. The Lord is mustering the host of the battle, man. He's mustering the battle up. So, once the Lord, put the spirit on the kings of the earth to start man, we not taking this no more. It's gonna be, the same thing on the shores of America. Okay? But that's what you get, man, when you're dealing with Esau Edom, because he sits in the power seat, and what he done, uh, 2nd Ezra 11, and I'm gonna start at 39. He says, "Art not thou that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them?" You see, talking about America, Babylon the Great. Esau Edom, the end of your time is gonna come through you, because Russia is gonna play a big part in the destruction of Babylon the Great. All right, which is also Edomites. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world, because the fourth beast is going into the ancient Roman Empire, which was Edomites too. All right, but we in Babylon the Great, which is Rome 2.0, which is still governed by Edomites. All right, the elites are Edomites. Okay. It had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth, the hammer of the earth, with much wicked oppression, and so long time dwelt upon the earth with deceit. It said, like it says, it's ruled with much wicked oppression. Okay? Because did not the book of Revelations, the 6th chapter, it tells you that the red horse take peace from the earth, and it was given to him a great sword. Right? And that's what this devil has done. He's taken peace from the earth. He's destroyed the earth. Okay? So, and you're going to have more things like this happen, but the end is not yet. All right? Because that MOTB got to come out. So all this tension that's going to be on the planet Earth is going to lead up to what the actual, all out, flat out, World War III, man. So the Lord is, creating all this tension and getting all of, this tension, in the planet Earth. Because one day, whenever you wake up, or however it's going to go, you're going to have, ICBMs flying. All right, it ain't just come out of nowhere. It's through all this tension that was going on the planet Earth. All right. So, yeah, that's basically all I have on that, man. Lord willing, you're edified. Shalom.